So vet riders are heading out for their practice laps now. This is day one of the Northeast Area Qualifier here at Winchester. As you all know, two-day process today. I believe the vet riders are not actually doing their qualifying. This is their support class run day. So we may not see as many riders out there in the vet class for this day's event, but I know we got a bunch of folks that are going to be coming down throughout the weekend. So this is the 65cc Riders practice session out on the track right now. This will be the final practice session here this morning. Going to line up motor number one here. It's going to be the 250A. Right after the opening ceremonies, we'll get underway with racing. Once again, just remind folks, it's going to be 250A ride. Winding down the 65cc Riders practice session here. Once again, I want to remind folks, we are open out at the front of the property, Winchester Motorsports. Plenty of fuel, tires out there, tear-offs, you name it, we've got it. Whatever you need to get out on the track, get the most out of your weekend here for the Northeast Area Qualifier. So make sure you stop out and say hi to the folks out at the shop out at the front of the property, Winchester Motorsports here. Right. Is going to bring the checkered flag out here on the 65cc Riders practice session. That'll do it for practice here this morning. We just a little bit of touch up out on the track now. Gets things back in shape here in the first turn. A little touch up, it looks like, on the finish line before we're underway with racing. 250A riders, you should be lining up on the start gate right now. Riders in the 250B Limited, you should be in the staging area. And riders in the 250C Limited class, you should be down in pre-staging. A little bit of touch up there in the first turn section. It looks like going to do a little touch up on the finish line jump. 250A riders lined up on the start gate to get ready to kick off the race day. And we did have to wait a little bit longer to get things underway today because of the unpleasant visit from Mother Nature first thing this morning, but it's good to see things are back in shape. Looks like the track has really come back around. So we should see some great racing out there. Going to try and get as many laps in here today as we can. right, so it looks like we are all set with track work out there on the track. At this time, could I please have everyone stand for the playing of our national anthem? Like we are just about set to go. All right, so 258 rider is going to get fired up off the gate here. With the lead across the big right-hand sweeper, 368, Steve Zarnata, the Yamaha rider, making a move into second. So down the left-hand side, down to the horseshoe turn section, there's a 321 of Hampshire out front. So R.J. Hampshire holding down the lead. That is Zarnata in the second spot on the 368. Phelps into third. Making a move into fourth. Looks like it's going to be the 52, Cody Kuykendall. Ben Fitzpatrick rounds out the top five on the 819. The 220, that's Josh Emmy running in sixth. DJ McFarlane, seventh. Walter White, the 171, running in eighth. And it's going to be Matt Carrillo on the 15, running in the ninth spot. Kevin Tompkins, the 302. It's going to round out the top 10 on lap one. Zarnata drops back a little bit. Phelps continues fourth, and Fitzpatrick still rounding out the top five. As again, we see the 321 of Hampshire, the alias Factory Connection Planet Fitness rider. Honda rider across the inside right-hand sweeper. He's got a pretty solid lead now. Second place just going to come into view up and over the top of that little tabletop. So there is the 52 Cody Kuykendall going to come down the rhythm section. And the battle continues, third and fourth, Zarnata and Phelps. So motor number one out on the track here, 250A. 250B limited riders next off the start gate. Riders in the 250C limited, you should be in the staging area. And this is going to be first call from Mini Senior 1 down to the pre-staging area. Looks like now Zarnata able to shake himself free of that battle going on behind him a little bit. Phelps on the 955 now falling under attack from the 819 of Ben Fitzpatrick. And meanwhile, Hampshire just cruising along. He's got a pretty comfortable gap, almost 17 seconds out ahead of the 52 of Cody Kuykendall. Looks like McFarlane going to make the pass right after the finish. See some of the riders coming out of that back section there as they come up and over that big Loctite launch in the center of the track. Coming up over the top of the hill a little sideways, so things definitely still getting a little bit soft out there and going to have to deal with some of this loose soil throughout the morning. Hampshire getting the one lap board here, so one more time around for the rider on the 321. Expect to see some big things out of that rider on the 321. RJ Hampshire looks like he's working through his final year in the amateurs, and I would expect we're going to see him under the Planet Fitness Geico Honda tent very, very soon. They've been working with that young man for quite a while. Solid run going here for the 52, Cody Kuykendall. And problems just like that. There you go. That's the announcer's curse. Is Kuykendall having problems out in the back section now. So he's going to lose a little bit of time to Hampshire, but he'll hold on to the second spot. Zarnata comes across the line in third. Final lap here for the 250A, 250B Limited next off the gate. Riders in the 250C Limited. And it looks like Kuykendall going to hang on to second on the 52. Steve Zarnata, the Yamaha rider, will finish it up in third as we get set to go here with 250B Limited. Right up the dead center there with a sideways slide. That is going to be the 740, the Winchester Motorsports Western Mass Environmental Ride. That is Max Murphy out front with the whole shot here for the 250B Limited. He's going to lead him down the right-hand side. There's a couple riders getting tangled up out in that back right-hand corner there. Everybody moves up and away. So there's leader down the left-hand side, the Riverside Drive. The 740, that is Max Murphy out in front with the lead. Through the horseshoe turn section, second place rider closing up the gap early on. And that is going to be the 231 of Joe Tate. Running in third on the 126. That is the KTM of Dave Hollenrake. Into fourth early on, the number 5, that's Taylor Price. The H61 rounding out the top 5, that's the decal work, Steve Balboni, Amsoil ride of all. There is your leader down to the horseshoe turn section. No problems for the 740 as Murphy continues to lead. Tate second, Hollenrake in third. Top 3 riders starting to break away from the rest of the field. Looks like the number 5 of Taylor Price going to continue to run in the 4th spot. And there is the 861. That's Austin Clapp going to continue to round out the top 5, so no change towards the front of the pack. Murphy up and over the Loctite launch all the way out in the very center section. And now Hollenrake starting to put the pressure on Joe Tate. He is all over him. And there you can see Murphy coming up the 740 there, right up that center rhythm section. And Tate now gets a good drive up there. Hollenrake's going to have to go to back work on him. All right, so Murphy threw that big sweeping right-hander on the inside. He's heading off to the back left corner. There's a 231 of Tate, and there's the 126 Hollenrake making their way through the inside. So far, no change there. And it looks like things are really starting to spread out a little bit. Got a good battle going on here between, looks to be the 981, Steve Oldham. Oldham trying to hold off the 801 of Ben LeMay. Those riders battling 12th and 13th right now. Again, there's Murphy winding it up through the horseshoe turn section. And that is going to bring out the 2 lap boards. So there's your leader on the 740. Max Murphy, 2 to go. Murphy heading down the right-hand side, airing it out. And looks like Austin Clapp, the 861, is closed right up on the number 5 of Taylor Price. That'll be the battle for 4th. Clapp has really reeled him in here. Down the left-hand side, there is Price. There is the 861, a Clapp down to the horseshoe turn section. So these riders going to stretch that battle out one more time around. Looks like Murphy across that inside, big sweeping right-hander. Looks like on the 410, out front with the whole shot. That is Dalen Vernazza. Got a big tangle up at the start here, though. Some riders getting sideways going through the first turn. A couple riders still down in that area. And it looks like it's the number 7, Christian Quintanilla, out front with the early lead. I believe that's Montana Jess making a move into second. And Ozmek on the 445 goes down hard. He's going to ride this one out. All right, your leader all the way out at the very center turn. There's the number 7 of Quintanilla. And there is the 765 Montana Jess up and over the top of that little step up. He is still trying to track down the lead. It looks like Totkus continues in third. And a couple of riders getting a little squirrely coming up in that center rhythm section there. Things are definitely going to get rough in that section. All the moisture we had earlier on is going to get rutted up, and that is one of those sections. If you've ever raced with us here before, you know that turns into 20 miles of bad road really quick. 2 lap borders out for the number 7 of Christian Quintanilla, rider out of Weston, Florida. There's a 765 Yamaha ride. That's Montana Jess in second. Totkus hanging on to third. And actually, that looks to be the number 9 of McLaughlin making the move into third. So Clint McLaughlin makes the move to third. Totkus is going to drop down to fourth. And it's going to be the 77 of Daugherty rounding out the top 5 now. O'Keefe continues in 6th. Oh, we got Rossi, the 359, making some moves. He's going to move to 7th. That is going to drop the 160 of Heath down to 8th. Martel 9th. And looks like Philippek going to continue to round out the top 10. Still in a good spot. Daugherty on the 77 going to move up to 4th, and that's going to put the 160 now. Sorry, the 446 of Eddie Totkus will drop out. Mitchell O'Keefe moves to 5th. So final lap here, it is Quintanilla, McLaughlin, Jess, Daugherty, and O'Keefe, top 5. Connor Martel 6th, Andrew Rossi 7th, Philippek running in 8th, Totkus 9th, and Dalen Vernazza is going to round out the top 10 with the final lap underway. Next off the gate, we're going to have the Mini Senior. So race number 4 in the order, Mini Senior, 12 to 13. Next off the gate, 85, 9 to 11 limited. You should be in the staging area. And girls senior, girls junior, and women's 14 plus, you should be in pre-staging. And there is your leader making his way through the horseshoe turn section on a final time. And that is going to be the checkered flag coming out the race win here for Christiane Quintanilla, rider out of Weston, Florida. All right. So that wraps it up there for the 250C Limited. Quintanilla, McLaughlin, Jess, O'Keefe, and Heath top 5. And we are going to be just a few minutes here before we get underway with the next moto. It is going to be the Mini Senior. And looks like we've got a little bit of track work to do out there, so we're going to take just a break in the action for a moment here. We'll be back with you in just a minute. With the whole shot. And it looks like we got a tangle up on top of that tabletop on the right-hand side there. A couple riders getting collected in that. All right, so lead it through the top of the off camber out in the very center section. That looks like it's still the 49 of Gutierrez. All right, so Gutierrez out front with lead. Looks like that's the 105 Suzuki Holden King making a move into second. Across the inside, sweeping right-hander. There is your leader down Riverside Drive, the 49 KTM ride, Gabe Gutierrez. So Gutierrez out front with the early lead on the Alias Pit Logic's ride. There is the 105, Holden King in the second spot. Moving up into the third spot early on here. Going to be the rider on the 73. So Joe Cordigiano into third. The 57 of Hunter Colley running in fourth. Rounding out the top 5, it's the 56, the Murdoch Racing Yamaha rider, Kyle Murdoch. Hayden Earhart in 6th. Hunter Santos 7th. Kevin Hill, the Hilson Contractors rider, running in 8th. Polino 9th. And it looks like it's going to be the 72 of Luca Marson, the 56 of Murdoch, really starting to tighten up as they come through that inside horseshoe turn section. right, so through the inside center section now, things really starting to tighten up. There's a 71, Cordigiano. And we have got a battle. All these riders outside the top 10, Molsky, Murgo, Floyd Seville, Axe Fenoff, Greg Doherty, trying to get into that top 10. They got to get a decent finish early on here. You got to be 8th place overall or better. You want to pick up that spot to move on to the regional. Gabe Gutierrez with a solid run out front. He's probably about 4 seconds ahead of Holden King right now. All right, into the off-camber turn, and Murdoch is definitely feeling the pressure. Oh, and it looks like one rider getting a little stuck coming out of that high line of the off-camber. Once again, there is the 49. Gutierrez going to make his way into the horseshoe turn section. He has got a solid lead on the field here. Started to lose the ability to talk early on. One lap board comes out. And Holden King, solid run going for the 105 Suzuki. He is just dogfighting, trying to close down on the leader, but nothing doing. And now Hunter Colley looks like he is working hard, trying to get around Joe Cordigiano. They're going to come down to the finish line turn. That is going to be the checkered flag, the race win for the rider on the Alias. Pit Logics, Gardner Race Services, Nihilo Concepts ride. That is Gabe Gutierrez with the win. The 105, the Suzuki of Holden King across the line for second. Across the line for third, it is going to be the rider on the 56, the Murdoch Racing Yamaha rider, Kyle Murdoch. Cordigiano on the 73 fourth, and it's going to be the 94 Hunter Santo with another pass on the final lap to move into the top 5. That'll do it for Mini Senior. 85cc 9 to 11 next off the gate. Riders in the girls, junior, girls, senior, and women's 14 plus. You should be in the staging area. And Schoolboy 1, BC, you should be in pre-staging. That is going to be the 444, Justin Kukinos with the whole shot here for the 85, 9 to 11. All right, so Justin Kikino's out front with the lead. Looks like the 14, Zach Poor, into second, and the 41. So it is Justin Kikino, Zach Poor, Austin Kapakanitis, Cody Sheedy, and Hagen Lilly, top 5. CJ Kluke, Tyler Peschel, Ashton Krieger, and Devin O'Leary through the rest of the field here with the 85, 9-11. As we see Kikino's making his way down the left-hand side, Riverside Drive, the 444 KTM rider going to come down to the horseshoe turn section. So there is Justin Kikino's, the 444, making his way down towards the finish line turn. Once again, riders in the 50cc class need to head down to pre-staging for your practice session. As we said earlier on in the day, we wanted to let the track get worked into shape before the 50s went out for their practice. It was way too slippery this morning. So 2 to go as the 444 of Kikino's makes his way over the finish line jump. And there is the 14 Kawasaki Zach Poor coming out of the horseshoe turn section down to the finish line turn. So Poor gets the 2-lap sign there on his 14 Kawasaki ride. 144 hop racing ride of Austin Kapakanitis coming down to the finish line turn. Kapakanitis with a solid run in third. So this is 85cc 9-11 limited race number 5 in the order. Girls junior, girls senior, and women's 14 plus next off the gate. Schoolboy 1 BC, you should be in staging. Riders in the 50cc class, you should be in pre-staging for your practice session. There's your leader right up the center section into the off-camber turn, right at the top of the high line, the 444 Kikino's. Making his way through the final lap here in the 85 9-11 limited. Kikino's all the way out the back left corner, making his way through that S-turn section. Then it's one more time down Riverside Drive. And that is going to be the 402 Manchester Sports Center Open Air Manga Racing Schools ride. Alexis Burns out front with the whole shot. And on the 15, that is going to be Catherine Callie with the whole shot for the girls class. Yeah. All right, so there's the leader making her way down the left-hand side into that center rhythm section. And that looks like it's going to be the number 12 of Nakia Williams, who has taken over the lead. We'll get a look at that. They make their way through that inside rhythm section. So it is Hannah King, the 313, with lead in the girls' senior. Catherine Callie on the 15, the leader in the girls' junior 9 to 13. And Marissa Marklin out front in the women's 14 plus. And Marklin making her way down to the horseshoe turn section. She's going to make her way through the rhythm section right in front of the finish line. As I said, good to see Marissa back up and running out on the bike here. She had a little bit of bad luck out at Freestone. Went down, I believe, early in Moto 2. And so good to see her back on the pace. .605, Kendall Chase into the second spot now. She gets around Natelkas into third. There's the 402, Alexis Burns continuing to run in the fourth spot. As we watch Marklin up and over the center field turn section there. Oh, Marklin stalls the bike at the top of the off camber. Got plenty of time to fire that back over, but she's got to get it going. Kendall Chase starting to close up the gap, but it looks like Marklin going to get away without losing the spot. Marklin threw the big sweeping right-hander on the inside, holding down the top spot. There's so Marissa Marklin making her way through the off-camber turn on her way through the final lap here in the girls, senior girls, junior, and women's 14-plus combined moto. Marklin with the lead in the women's 14-plus. Hannah King out front on the 313 for the girls senior, and Catherine Callie on the 15 out front for the girls junior. Race number 7 off the gate next. It's the Schoolboy 1 BC. Riders in the 50cc class, you should be in the staging area to practice right after the Schoolboy. As we had said earlier on, we moved the 50cc practice down till after the schoolboy race, so you need to make sure you're down there and ready to go for the 50cc practice right after schoolboy. That is the next moto off the gate. And Marklin one more time through the horseshoe turn section. She is going to come down that rhythm section on the way to the checkered flag. So that's going to be the race win for the number 10, the Kawasaki ride out of Ansonia, Connecticut. That is going to be the Fly Racing Kawasaki. Marissa Marklin with the win. And that looked to be the 222, the Brap MX Pit Logics New England Tree Masters ride. Ramia Alves with the whole shot here for the Schoolboy BC. And looks like Alva's going to lead him through the off-camber turn section right in the center. And looks like Alves would lead to 36 of Miguel Correa into the second spot. And I believe it's going to be the 722 of Connor Rowe up into third. All right, leaders down the left-hand side. Out front, it is Alves, the 222. And no, the Correa takes the lead away, so the 36, Miguel Correa with the lead. Alves drops to second. Still, Miguel Correa, Ramil Alves, 1 and 2 as they go to the back left corner. And there is your leader down Riverside Drive, the 36 Yamaha ride. Correa, Alves, and Hollenrich, that is your top three. This is Schoolboy 1, BC, out on the track. So far, Miguel Correa, Rami Alves, Dave Hollenrich, Connor Rowe, and TJ Albright, top 5. And we've got a few more laps left to run in this moto. So Bushy with a good solid run here early on. And again, this one is all about making sure you get enough points to be top 8 in the overall. That's how you move on to the next step in the process. So riders got to be smart here. And your leader going to make his way down to the finish line turn. So the one lap board is going to come out here in the Schoolboy BC. There is the 36, the Triangle Cycles Yamaha ride of Miguel Correa. Alves on the 222, maintaining that second spot. And Dave Hollenrake on the 126 says, I don't need a silencer, I'm just going to go fast. And there you see the battle down the right-hand side. Connor Rowe, TJ Albright, Dave Hollenrake, third, fourth, and fifth. And Hollenrake really making a push after Connor Rowe. So and we are going to have the 50cc riders come out now for their practice session. As we said earlier on in the day, very muddy, very sticky out there. We did not want to have the 50s go out and blow up their bikes in practice. So we are going to have the 50s come out and do their practice session now. Riders in the 450A, you should be in staging. You'll be the next moto off the gate. 450B limited riders down to staging. And riders in the 65, 7 and 9, and 10, 11 limited, you should be in the pre-staging area. So just a few minutes here while we get the 50cc riders underway with their practice session. We'll be back underway with live racing action. All right, that one looked like it was the 52 of Kuykendall battling with R.J. Hampshire for the whole shot there, but Hampshire's going to get the advantage going down the right-hand side. And it looks like it's going to be the 321 of R.J. Hampshire leading them down to the far right-hand corner. And rounds out the top 10. So there is Hampshire back down that center section. So once again, Hampshire shoots across that inside right-hand sweeper. Solid lead on the pack early on here. McFarlane, Kuykendall, Zarnata, and Fitzpatrick continue top 5. Kuykendall. So Hampshire through the inside line in that horseshoe turn section. And now the 52 of Cody Kuykendall starting to close up the gap on DJ McFarlane. We're going to have a battle for that second spot. McFarlane gets through the rhythm section right before the finish, just a little bit cleaner. And now the 368, Zarnata make the move into the 4th spot as he gets himself a little breathing room over Fitzpatrick. But Ben Fitzpatrick has no breathing room at all. Higley and the 171 of White right on him. There's Phelps. So Hampshire starting to stretch it out a little bit as he continues to lead. And still Kuykendall has not been able to close up the gap on McFarlane. Those guys about the same distance apart as they battle for second. Hampshire out of sight down the right-hand side. There's the battle for second, heading down that right-hand side rhythm section right now. So race number 8 here, solid run out front again for the 321 of R.J. Hampshire. And it looks like now Cody Kuykendall has really closed up on the second place ride of McFarlane as they come up that center rhythm section. There's McFarlane still holding the advantage, but the 52 slowly chipping away at him. That time around they were pretty close, just about identical lap times. Kuykendall a little bit faster. Hampshire, McFarlane, Kuykendall, Zarnata, and White. That is the top 5 here, but it looks like still the 52 of Cody Kuykendall trying to do something about that to get around DJ McFarlane. And it looks like they're going to start to come into some traffic now. Is going to be the 2-lap board out. So there's the 321, R.J. Hampshire, 2 to go. And McFarlane able to stretch it back out now as he was able to get through the traffic a little bit more cleanly, it looks like. And there is the 368. Steve Zanata had a solid run going here. He's fourth place. White on the 171, trying to hang on to that top five. Oh, and it looks like the 607, Jim Doolittle trying to get aggressive coming after the finish there, but it did not work out for him. He put himself towards the berm. So Doolittle tried to make a pass around the outside, but it did not work. And that is going to be the checkered flag to race win here for the Alias. Geico, Factory Connection, Amsoil, Planet Fitness Ride. That's the 321 RJ Hampshire with the win. The 182 Honda Ride, DJ McFarlane. Solid run to hang on to that second spot. Another Alias-backed Honda rider. There's the 52 of Cody Kuykendall. Triangle Cycles FMF Yamaha rider. He'll finish it up in third. And we're going to get set to go here with 450B Limited. And that is going to be the 740, the Western Mass Environmental Winchester Motorsports Alias Ride. Max Murphy with the whole shot. So the 740 Murphy out front. Looks like the 971 Ben Brouillard into the second spot as they come down the Riverside Drive on the left-hand side of the track. There's your leader down to and looks like Miller on the 380 maintaining that fourth place spot, but he has got a challenge from Borski on the 857. And Murphy now starting to stretch out the lead a little bit. Brouillard on the 971 running in second. Race number 9, the 450B Limited out on the track. Neff on the 7-11, going to have his hands full. Brandon Miller on the 380, right on him. 857 of Borkowski right in the mix as well. Jake Shanis on the 45, going to make the move up to 6th. Brandon Pearson into 7th. Taylor Price on the number 5 moves up to 8. Joe Tate to 9th, and Nolan Hepner now rounding out the top 10. And there is the 7-11. Luke Neff coming up that center rhythm section. Brandon Miller, Kyle Borski right on him. And it looks like Jake Shanis now up in the mix. And Shanis may have made the move around into 5th. So looking for Murphy to make his way down through that horseshoe turn section. This time around, it's going to be the 2-lap board out for the 740. And now looks like the 45, Jake Shanis, is going to be making some moves as he's gotten around the 7-11. So Murphy and Briard continue 1 and 2, but Jake Shanis starting to move up through the field. He's getting to 3rd, but he's got a lot of ground to cover to catch up to 2nd with 2 to go. I don't think he's going to be able to make that happen. So Jake Shanis might just end up staying right where he is there. So winding down, Shanis up into 3rd, but I think that's where the march forward is going to stop. Brandon Miller moves into that 4th spot, and now Borkowski comes around with him into 5th. Looks like Luke Neff going to have his hands full here on the final lap. Trying to hang on to that 6th place spot. He's got Taylor Price, Joe Tate, and Zach Bilodeau all over him. That is going to be the checkered flag, the race win here in the 450B Limited. The Western Mass Environmental Winchester Motorsports alias Factory Connection KTM ride. A Max Murphy with the win. Second place for the rider on the 971. That is the Yamaha of Ben Briard. From the outside, the rider on the 26 MSR Cactus Jacks ride. That is going to be Justin Allen with the whole shot for the 7-9 class. Looks like one rider having a little trouble at the top of that tabletop there. Back up and underway. And your lead pack of riders here in the 10-11 class making their way back up that center rhythm section. Looks like Capricorn is holding down a lead in the 88 Emmerich Aras into the second spot. Rider out of Lawrenceville, Quebec. Boys. So Justin Allen, Nick Capps, Colin Pouch, top 3 in the 7-9. Austin Capricornitis, Ty Lepasier, and Emmerich Aras, top 3 in the 10-11. So this is race number 10 in the order 65cc 7-9 and 10-11 limited. Austin Capricornitis out front for the 10-11 and Justin Allen with the lead in the 7-9 as they came across on lap 1. And there are your two leaders right there. There's the 144. Austin Capricornitis, 726. Ty Lepasier in the second spot. And there's the 88 of Ares. Meanwhile, down Riverside Drive, the left-hand side of the track, the 26 of Justin Allen coming down towards the finish line turn. So there is the 26, Justin Allen, but boy, right there with him on the 444. That is Nico Capps. Capps rider sponsored by Rivergate Studios. And we're looking for the 800 Colin Pouch hanging on to that third spot there in the 7-9 class. There is the 26, Justin Allen hanging on to the lead. What? We went through that whole thing at Ponca last year. So looking for your leader to make his way down here on the 144. Capricornitis trying to wrap up the final lap in the 10-11. Justin Allen trying to hold off Nico Capps in the 7-9. And that time around, Capps only about 3 seconds behind. So Justin Allen going to have to stay on the gas. Looking for the 144. Capricornitis out in the center section. Looking for the 800, Colin Pounce to hang on to third in the 7 to 9. And we are going to get set to go here with Super Mini. All right, so it looks like we're set to go here with Super Mini 1. All right, leaders making their way down the left-hand side of the track, down Riverside Drive. And there is your leader down to the finish line turn, the 49. That is Gabe Gutierrez out in front on the Alias. Pit Logic's Gardner Race Services ride. Running in second now, the 111, Jared Basheri. Murdoch drops back to third. On the 222, that is Nate Tasha, the Loud Fuels rider, in fourth. Luca Marsalisi rounds out the top five. Will Ballard in sixth. Joe Cordigiano seventh. Zach Patekas running in the eighth spot there on the number 34 Factory Connection Maxima Pro Filter Pro Circuit Answer Racing ride. Kevin Hill in ninth, and Henry Howard rounds out the top 10 on the 221. All right, so leaders through the high line off camber on the inside of the track. Then it's back all the way down to the very center. We are streaming the first set of motos live on YouTube today. We'll be doing the same thing tomorrow. So clicking off the laps here in Super Mini 1. Gabe Gutierrez, the Alias rider, out in front here on the 49. KTM Basheri still trying to track him down. Cut the lead down to a little over a second and a half that last lap. So we'll see if he can pick up another half a second or so on this lap. He's got a couple more to go. Murdoch solid in that third spot with the 56. Nate Tasha, the Loud Fuels 222 rider, trying to hang on to fourth with Marsalisi right behind him in fifth. So Gutierrez, Basheri, 1 and 2. Here comes your third place rider. There's the 56 of Murdoch down to the finish line turn. And there is your leader getting the one lap board. So the 49 alias ride of Gabe Gutierrez got to lay down another solid lap here to take home the win. And looks like Bashiri having a little mistake on that lap as the 56 Murdoch now makes the move to second. So the Murdoch Racing Yamaha ride getting around Bashiri, the 111 dropping back. Oh, and it looks like something is not right with the bike as he is off the pace, looking over his shoulder here. Oh, yeah, I can hear the bike bogging out from here. So Jared Bashiri trying to nurse this one home. The Loud Fuels ride, and Nate Tosh is going to get the third spot away from him. Nate Tasha getting the third spot. Bashiri's going to be able to hang on to fourth as he nurses that 111 ride home. And it looks like Will Ballard will get up there and round out the top five as he makes the pass on the final lap, getting around Marsalisi. All right, so 50cc riders getting set to leave the gate here. 30-plus support class riders, you should be in staging. Open A and B support class riders, you should be in pre-staging. All right, so up that center rhythm section, looks like Ben Hudson out front. Andrew Colley into the second spot for the 7-day limited. Leaders all the way in the back left corner here as we work through the laps in the 50cc. This is 4 to 6 shaft drive, 4 to 6 special limited, 4 to 6 limited, and 7 to 8 limited class riders out on the track here. And there is the top three through the horseshoe turn section there, all tight, packed together. And it is the number 3 out front holding the lead, Ben Hudson. 5:23, Tug Greenslit, the Chef's Planet wide open racing rider into the second spot. The 21, that is Andrew Colley running in third. There's the 43, Eric Franklin running in the fourth spot. There's the 325, Dylan Gordon. He's your leader in the 50cc 4 to 6 shaft drive limited class. Pounding that PW50 through the start turn section there. All 3.5 horsepower of that bike fired up. The trusty PW50, I don't think the design has changed on that bike since roughly 1972. They are pretty much bulletproof. Almost everybody started out on one. You can just about do anything to them and they will refuse to stop running. looks like checkered flag getting set to come out here as we get ready to wrap up the 50cc class. Oh, and here comes Greenslit. Makes the pass on the inside, and the 523. Tug Greenslit, the Chef's Planet wide open racing rider, takes away the win right at the finish. Hudson will have to finish for second. So Greenslit, great effort there on the final lap to make the pass. He'll take the win. Hudson second. There's the 21 of Andrew Cowley. He'll hang on to that third spot. Eric Franklin fourth. And we're looking for the 96. Joe Brothers going to round out the top five. Mason Nettleton will have the win in the 50cc 4-6. And we've got the Vet 30 Plus next off the gate. So just waiting for the final of the 50cc riders to finish out their laps here as we get ready to go with the Vet 30 Plus class. Here we go with the Vet 30 Plus. And there is Luda down the left-hand side, heading down Riverside Drive, the 981 of Oldham Pilgrim Power Sports Kawasaki rider out front early. There is Oldham and Carter 1 and 2. Oh, third place rider. Scrubbed it out a little bit sideways, coming into that first part of that rhythm section and just sent sideways. So the 457 of Eric Barrow is going to take over that third spot on the North Star Motorsports Casella Construction Dan Turco and Sons Yamaha ride. Carlos Roldan on the number 30, bringing it across the line in the fourth spot. A little miscue there, but Steve Kimball, the 943, back up and running. So Kimball going to round out the top five. He is a Connecticut native and spends a lot of time down south now that he lives in Tennessee, but you just can't get the boy out of New England. It's always good to see Doug back up here, so make sure you stop over down Vendors Row and say hi to those folks. And, of course, whatever you need, we also have out at Winchester Motorsports. If you're looking for fuel, tires, tear-offs, we've got the store open out at the front of the property. So whatever you need to get yourself out on the track, stop out and see the folks out at Winchester Motorsports out at the front of the property. Vet 30 Plus support class out on the track. Next off the gate, we got the Open A and B support, Open Novice Saturday support, and Vet 40 Plus support class. You should be in staging. And Riders in the Open support class, you should be in pre-staging race number 16. His leader, the 981, Steve Oldham, the Pilgrim Power Sports rider down to the horseshoe turn section. And he is going to make his way through that rhythm section right in front of the finish, get the one lap board this time. We're looking for Elu to make his way out of the S-turn section down the left-hand side, heading down Riverside Drive. Carver making a run at him at the finish here, so the checkered flag is going to come out, and it's going to be the Pilgrim Power Sports ride. Steve Oldham with the win. Actually, that was Barra who was right behind him. I thought that was Carver, but no, Carver is in the second spot, though, as he comes through the horseshoe turn. And we are looking for the 943 Kimmel to hang on to third as we wrap up Vet 30-plus support class. Open A and B next off the gate. Hampshire goes down. We've got riders down at the start here. So lead pocket riders down the left-hand side. And it is going to be the TDL Racing Loud Fuels ride of Brandon Miller taking the lead on the 380. On the 711, Lucas Neff into second, but here comes Kuykendall. So Cody Kuykendall is going to take that second spot, and Neff trying to get it right back. On the 300, Todd Maximew running in third. Maximew fourth. Jake Mudge rounds out the top five. Kevin Tompkins sixth. Nate Cole seventh. Matt Carril in eighth. Russell School ninth. And it's going to be Cam Munn on the 660 Premier Limousine ride, rounding out the top 10. All right, so Kuykendall takes the lead. Miller into the second spot now, and he has got pressure already from the 300 of Todd Maximew. Excuse me. Working through the finish line, turn on his way down through. The 52 of Cody Kuykendall. 300, the Motorsports Nation Mastercraft Auto Care Maximu. And we are looking to see if the 711 going to hang on at third here. And no, the 303 of Kevin Tompkins takes that third spot away on the final lap, like a half an inch from the finish. So the 711 and F going to finish fourth. Brandon Miller of the TDL Racing Loud Fuels Ride will round out the top five. That is going to be the 160. Tom Heath with the hole shot. So Heath will grab the hole shot for the Open C support class gate. Here we go with Vet 40 Plus. And look like Mark Brady trying to hang on the inside line. Dean Busher right there with him though. All right, leaders in the Open Novice all the way down to the very center turn. All right, the 160 out front, that's Tom Heath, but he's got the 765 Montana Jess putting the pressure on early. It's an excellent racing name there, Brett Savage. John Carver in second, Dean Bush third, Mark Brady fourth, and Dage Campbell, the 484 Honda, rounding out the top five for the 40 plus support class. So Tom Heath back out front in the Open Novice support class, but Montana Jess right on him as they go to the S-turn section. And they're going to come up and over that big floater tabletop along Riverside Drive. And side by side down to the finish line turn, the 160 of Tom Heath holds the advantage. But man, these guys are going at it. Two-lap board is out. Montana Jess trying to get around. There's the 266 of Kovensky continuing to hang on at third. Capricornitis, the 157, picks up a spot as he moves to fourth. And now it's going to be Bergener into the top five. That's going to drop the 167 Rogers into 6th. Collins will drop down to 7th. Joe Marsalisi 8th, the 724. Lithway 9th, and Gerasimo rounding out the top 10. Meanwhile, the 50, Brett Savage, maintains the lead in the 40 plus. Carver in 2nd, Bush 3rd. Track down the 160 Suzuki of Tom Heath as they go all the way down to the far right side. All right, top of the off-camber turn, and again, Montana Jess tries the inside, but Heath closes the door on him. My apologies for my lousy camera work here. All right, leaders all the way in the back left corner. And it is the 160 Heath maintaining the advantage as they come down the left-hand side. .765 of Jess, going to try one more run to the inside, but I think he's going to run out of time. Let's see if he can make something happen here right before the finish. He's going for it on the out. So it looks like Aquino's out front. Marsalisi in the 2nd spot. Looks to be Felino in 3rd as they come up the center rhythm section. This is 85 open out on the track. Is Justin Coquinos, the 444, coming out of the horseshoe turn section out front. Marsalisi on the 72 Kawasaki ride in the 2nd spot. Felino hanging on at 3rd. Here comes the 221 though. That is Henry Howard running in 4th. And Zach Poor on the 14, going to round out the top 5. It looks like Mark Molsky running 6th, Liam Fanning 7th, Anthony Hellbach in 8th, Cody Sheedy 9th, and Devin O'Leary going to round out the top 10 as we watch your leader come up and over the Loctite launch right in the very center of the track. The 444, Justin Coquinos out front trying to stretch out the lead, but Marsalisi trying to keep him in sight. Kikino's down the right-hand side. And we hope everybody that has been following along online here has been enjoying the show. This is going to be the final moto today that we'll be showing live streaming. We will pick up the racing action tomorrow morning with some more live streaming here at day 2 for the Loretta Lynn's Northeast Area Qualifier here at Winchester Speedpark. Watching Justin Kikino's make his way up that center rhythm section as he continues to pound out the fast laps. And it's still Marsalisi and Foligno second and third. And it looks like Howard falling back off the pace maybe a little bit. Looking for Zach Ford to be running in the 5th spot. Is Kikino's down to the horseshoe turn section. And Justin Kikino's 444 across the inside section there. And looks like the 221 of Howard having a little trouble after the off camber there. He's back up and running, but that is going to drop him out of the battle for 4th. So Zach Poor will get that spot. And here's your leader down to the horseshoe turn section, final time through. That is going to be the checkered flag coming out here. The race win in the 85 Open. The 444 of Justin Kikino's to Keith Johnson, motocross school rider. Second place, the 72. That is going to be Luca Marsalisi, the Factory Connection Kawasaki rider. And it's going to be the 198 Foligno hanging on to 3rd. Rider out of New Hartford, Connecticut. Zach Ford will finish it up in 4th. And looks like the 100 of Mark Molsky get around to round out the top 5 on the final lap, and that'll do it for the 85 Open. And once again, we hope you've enjoyed the live streaming. If you've been tuned in live, we're going to sign off now as we go into the second half of racing. Don't forget, we'll be back